Hello my loves, hello my besties, hi, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys have been well. We are going to be going over the lovely sequel to Powerless today. We're going to be doing our Let's Talk about Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I ate this book up, ate it up. I finished Powerless in a couple days, and then I finished Reckless also in a couple days. I did end up listening to them both on audiobook. I listened to most of Powerless on audiobook, and then I read a little bit of it once the audiobook on Spotify ran out of time. Reckless, I listened to the whole thing on audiobook, and it did not disappoint. I absolutely loved it. I adored this book. It was so good. We're going to be doing the same kind of system as we did in the other videos. We're going to go over the plot, the characters, the setting, the pacing, the originality of the book, the emotional impact it had, the overall enjoyment, and the ending. And then I also have a bunch of quotes that I want to say because they're so good. And yes, most of them are from Kai, because why wouldn't they be? He's a sweet talker. He's a gentleman. He's charming. He's fantastic. We love him. So there are plenty of Kai quotes coming your way at the end of this little wrap-up talk. So the plot of this one, this takes place a few days after Powerless ends, and we are following Peyton and Kai as they navigate where they now stand with their relationship and within Ilya, and basically just how they are, the two of them. Kai is now the enforcer to the new king, and has been tasked with hunting Peyton down and finding her to bring her back to Ilya to have justice brought to her for the killing of the king. She is on the run from Kai and trying to start over in Dor, which is the city that is out in the desert. That it's that city that the people who have been harboring ordinaries and like protecting them, they get banished there. So she's headed there to try to start over and make a new life for herself. But we get to watch them go through this fight between their relationship and the truth and the place that they find themselves in and the position that they find themselves in during this book. Because obviously there's that battle between their affection for each other and their care for each other and the duty Kai has to bring her back as the enforcer of the king. Which we all knew he was going to end up being the enforcer. We knew that it was going to be his job to hunt down ordinaries and to be the punisher for the king. So it's just hard to know that his very first mission as the official enforcer is to hunt down the girl that he loves. But we follow them through this. We get a look at their relationship and the difficulties that they have to navigate now that they are truly supposed to be enemies. And we get to uncover some of the secrets of their kingdom's history. Some things that really turned the kingdom into the way that it is now, into the fact that it's an all elites kingdom, and the reason that the ordinaries are being banished and killed. We get to see the lies that were told, and we get to uncover some truths uncover them through Peyton's father. She before she fled from Ilya, she had gone back to her childhood home and was laying low there as she was healing because Kai had hit her in the leg with a knife, and she was trying to heal up so that she could travel. And Kai and some of his enforcers end up coming to her house to see if she's there, and not knowing that she was actually there, they didn't think she was there, but Kai burned the house down to make sure she couldn't go back there. And she managed to get out, and she took her father's journal, like his medicinal journal from when he was a healer. It has all kinds of medical stuff in it, but they find out throughout the book that it's actually just a journal as well, like it's his diary kind of deal. And he basically lays out some of the lies that the prior king had been telling, and uncovers these truths that have really changed Ilya for what the king thought was the better, but what in reality was just a way for power and greed. So we get to follow them figuring these things out, and both of their lives kind of being altered, because we see Kai having to struggle with basically everything he's been taught his whole life kind of being a lie, and you get to see Peyton struggling because we find out something very, very important about her life and about her as a person, and her battling with figuring out this knowledge that she had no idea about up until this point. So there's just a lot of things that happen in this book that it's the battle between their love for each other and the responsibilities that he has, and her trying to prove to him that everything that he knew isn't true. Like, ordinaries are not going to have any kind of dampening effect on the elite's power. The only way that would happen is if an elite were to have children with an ordinary, because then you find out in this book that there's these people called mixes or mixed, and it's somebody who an elite and an ordinary had a child. So the child has some power, but it's a very, very small amount of the power that they possess, and they can't really do anything differently about it. So it's just, they don't have their full power, but they're not ordinary either. So they're not like as powerful as the elites, and they would have been killed probably still, because they weren't super powerful. And it's just like this whole other part of this world that you get to uncover during this, which is really cool. The characters that we mostly follow in this one are Peyton, Kai, and Kit. Peyton obviously is an ordinary who is on the run after killing the king of Ilia. She killed him at the end of the last book. Not that she didn't want to, but she did it out of self-defense. He was torturing her and trying to kill her, and she killed him first. And Kai has officially become the enforcer to the king, the new king, which is Kit. Kit has become officially the king of Ilia, and Kai is his new enforcer. So Kit has tasked Kai with hunting down Peyton and bringing her back to Ilia, and bringing her to him, to Kit, alive. So those are the characters we're mostly following in this. There are a few other like side characters, like you see some of the people from the first book that were part of the resilience or whatever, the group that was trying, it was elites and ordinaries and stuff that were trying to go against the king and try to, basically, they didn't want power, they just wanted to be able to live and have everybody live together again like they used to before this king kind of took control. But we're following basically the three of them. Most of the story is from Peyton and Kai's point of views, but we do get some chapters out of Kit's point of view as well. I'm not really sure how to feel about Kit in this book. He is kind of himself, but also kind of not. Like, you see him dealing with the grief of losing his father and being thrust into this role as king way earlier than expected, and you see him battling because he also had feelings for Pei. So you get to see him battling what he should be doing, because he knows that she needs to be brought to justice. Like, he's pissed and angry that she killed his father, but he also still can't stop thinking about her, just like Kai can't. So it's like, I don't know how to feel about him. The ending of this book shook me to my core. I saw kind of the end coming, but I didn't. And I'll get to that when we talk about the ending, but I'm still kind of reeling about what happened there, and I really, really, really need April to show up so that I can read the next book, because I'm gonna lose my mind. The setting of this one, like I said, it takes place in Dor. It's a city that's located out in the desert. It's also the place where almost everyone is ordinary, so throughout the book, when they are there and Kai hunts her down there, he basically is an ordinary, because his power is dependent on other powers around him, and because he is in a place that is almost all ordinary people, he doesn't really have anything to draw from for his power. So he is essentially on the same level as Peyton, but she's kind of a little bit stronger in this fact because she's been living her whole life without powers. She has never been able to depend on a power to help her before. She's always had to depend on her wits and her strength and her fighting skill. So it's fun seeing them at even, like, they were never not at a like even kind of playing field because she is super smart and she is a really good fighter. So that gave her a little bit of a step up, but she's never been able to have a power to fall back on. So it's nice to see Kai more in that, like, he needs to be just a person, just him and his fighting skill and his intuition and the way he has learned how to fight and stuff, and you see them working together but also battling each other in a way. So that's really cool. The only other elites that are really endure are the elite that he brought with him, like the other guards and stuff from the castle that he brought with him to help find her. Overall, the pacing of this book was really good. I didn't think it was too slow or too fast. I thought it was a perfect speed. If we weren't in fight scenes or something, we were doing witty banter between the two of them and seeing their relationship and what it was like, and seeing the feelings showing more, even though they were both trying so hard to fight them, knowing that, like, they weren't going to be able to be together. He's there to bring her back for punishment. Like, he's not there looking for her as Kai. He's there looking for her as the enforcer. So you see them kind of battling their want and need for each other while also him trying to hold up his responsibility to his brother because he promised his brother he'd bring her home. Like, Kit had questioned him before he left, asking if he was going to be able to do it. And he said that he was, that it wouldn't be a problem. And then you see them together and you see how hard it is for both of them to go through this adventure and this struggle together, knowing that they both love each other and that they're not going to be able to be together because of everything. The originality, I thought it was very original. There's not really trials or anything in this, but you kind of get this little sense of a fight club, and you see the two of them. I mean, it's original in a way, but it's not original. Like, it's kind of like any other fantasy where you are watching the two of them going through these struggles and working together and the connection blossoming and stuff. But I really thought it was really good. I did think it was original in some aspects of it. Like, I think the originality of the going back to not having powers, people not having powers and just having to kind of depend on yourself and your skills as a person and not depend on a power is really nice. I overall thought it was really, really good. I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot. The emotional impact, this book was a roller coaster of emotions. It was really hard to see Pei going through everything she was going through. Not only was she going through physical pain, but she was also going through emotional pain of losing her best friend and having to leave everything behind in Ilya. And not that she really had anything in Ilya besides Kai, but when she's on the run from him, you can't be, I don't know, it's hard to see it. You get to see her going through the grief of her best friend, and you get to see the turmoil that killing has had on her. Like, she killed the king, and you see she's like having a very hard time with that, and she now has a hard time with blood, because her best friend bled out in her arms. Like, she now has had two people that she loved die in her arms, and she couldn't help them. So now she has a problem with blood, and she's never wanted to be a killer. She's never wanted to kill people, and it's gotten to the point that she killed the king out of self-defense, and she's had to kill other people out of self-defense, because even all the way in Door, there are flyers up for her capture, and it's like an obscene amount of money that they'll be rewarded if they can bring her in. So she's had to fight for her life to not get taken in a place that she thought that she would be able to be safe. Um, and even though the people of Dor hate the king and hate Ilya, the amount of money they're offering is too good for them to pass up. Like they have to kind of put aside their hate to bring her in for this, a fortune, essentially, something that they'll never have to worry about money again. So we get to see her dealing with grief, hating herself, and going through guilt, while also seeing her feel at ease and being in love and having somebody there who knows how to center her and bring her back when she starts panicking and starts losing herself a bit. We see the struggle between Kai and Pei with their relationship, knowing that they love each other, but they're also knowing that they are supposed to be enemies, and that it really hurt my heart to watch them and see like the conversations they had with each other and their inner monologues for themselves. Like you see them telling themselves that they're supposed to hate each other, like they're supposed to hate each other, and I don't want to love him, like I hate him. I hate him. And then but I don't. It's just it's really hard to see how much they love each other and care for each other and want to protect each other, and that they do protect each other and they save each other's lives more than once, when it would be so much easier for both of them if they didn't. Like there's multiple times through this book that Pei could leave Kai for dead, and she doesn't. She protects him and saves him, and it would be so much easier for her if she didn't. If she just she wouldn't be the one technically who killed him, but she would have been feeling guilty because she didn't save him either. But it would have been easier for her. She would have been able to go on and continue hiding and live, not have to be dragged back to Ilya. So that was painful to watch. Sorry, I have notes typed up because I knew what I was going to talk about. Overall, like I really loved seeing the parts of them just opening up to each other and getting that time together and seeing the love they have for each other. So those were nice points, as well as seeing the parts of them kind of fighting each other and her trying to escape and him always finding her and getting a hold of her again and stuff like that. But the overall, this book made me happy, it made me sad, it made me excited, it made me angry. The ending made me angry, and it made me hopeful all at the same time. Like, the ending made me angry, but also hopeful. So, I don't want to say what the ending was, because I don't, if anybody hasn't read the book yet, I don't want to ruin that for anybody. But it's a doozy. It was really good, though. Overall, I loved this book. I sped right through it. Like I said, I finished it in 2 days. I couldn't put it down. It was a really good, well-paced book, and I enjoyed it very, very much. I love Kai. I adore him with my whole heart and soul. With that being said, do we want to have some... We'll do Payton's quote first, because I think I only have 1 or 2 quotes that are Payton. So, I think I only have 1 quote that's Payton. All the rest of them I think are Kai. So the one quote that I wrote down for Payton is, "No, I'm sick of running, and I won't spend the rest of my life doing it unless it's running back to you." That is the epitome of their relationship. It is so cute, and I love it. Some of the other quotes that come from Kai are poets not just fools with fancy words, because I think she called him a fool or a poet or something like that. He says, "Touch her again and I'll slit your throat. She's mine." Like, Kai is just perfection. "I may be a monster, but if you cut me, I'll bleed. And if you break my heart, Pei, you'll break me. So even if a sliver of your soul longs for mine, I'll spend the rest of my life trying to deserve it." Is that not, like... Doesn't that just make you swoon? Like, your heart? He's just so cute. And so charming, and I love him. I love Kai. Saying her last name only reminds me that she doesn't want me to say her first. It hurt losing that privilege. At one point in the book, they start, he does something that just really breaks her trust, and she tells him that he can't call her Peyton anymore. He can't call her Pay. So that's what that quote came from, but it's just, it hurts. Her smile is sunshine incarnate, warm and bright and blinding. Another Kai quote about her, how much he freaking loves her. So cute. And then he says, maybe I'm fine with being a fool, so long as it's for you. Like, really? That's so cute. Oh, but you are my undoing, my deliverance, my downfall disguised as a deity. You are my ruin. Because Pei said that she was going to ruin him. That, like, I'm going to ruin you. I wanted to ruin you. And he says that to her. And they, at some point, they do get to kiss, finally. And he says she tasted like privilege and felt like a dream. And then this one's just funny, and you're like, Kai, really? Wow. Under different circumstances, I promise you I'm much more fun tied up. Sir. I'm sorry. What? Stop. Stop. He said it, not me. Call us even. Call me crazy. I don't care. Just call me yours. This man has such a way with words. I can't. They're so good. Don't live to die. Die because you lived. He says that to her farther along in the book when she's really struggling with some things. And then at one point he says, because the beast doesn't get the beauty. Because he doesn't think they're going to get to be together. I mean, neither of them really do, but something happens and he says that, and it just really breaks your heart to hear that. And then this is one of my favorites, and that Kai says this to her because she says that she's nothing. And he says, you cannot be nothing if you are everything to someone else. They're supposed to hate each other, and he says all of this stuff, and it's so good. I'm sure there's so many more that I didn't even remember to, like, put down in notes, but it's so good. So good. And he's just, they're so amazing together, and they're perfect for each other, and I just adore him with all my heart and soul. I absolutely adored this book. I adore this series. I need to read Powerful still, the little, like, novella. I gotta see where I can get it. I think I have it on hold in one of my library apps, so hopefully I'll get to read that one soon. But yeah, I really, really love this book. If you guys choose to pick it up, please, please, please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about my thoughts. If you guys have any thoughts on the book, I'd really love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you guys wanted to pick this up because of me, I'd really love to know. But I hope you guys have such a great day whenever you're watching this. And I hope you guys stay happy, healthy, and safe. If you do like this video, please hit like and subscribe. It really does help me out a lot, and it helps push this video out to more amazing people that are just like you. So, thanks, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!